A slogan.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the BBA Daily News, episode 006. Today is Monday, the 30th, start of a new week, and we have a lot of stories to cover today, Mayu.
We sure do. We sure do, man. I can't wait. It's some things has been happening over the weekend, and I'm excited to talk about it, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the lineup today, some of the stories, there's a lot of fining going on in the NBA lately. We're going to get into that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also, King James is this guy is always newsworthy. He's back in the news again. Uh, if you guys did not know, he had a situation that occurred. Maya, how would you describe the situation? Just
Uh,
in a sentence. We're gonna get into that later, but in a sentence, how would you describe it?
uh, this situation, excuse me, very massive situation to happen for the referees to, play a part in the game time decision. And I mean, that's what I'm going to say before getting all the way into it. But this is a massive, how can I put it, debacle, as we would say.
There you go. There you go. And then another LeBron story to add insult to injury. LeBron and Davis are out and hurt tonight, as in January 30th versus the Nets. And lastly, Giannis over the when was that game? He scored 50 points recently, which is monumental.
Yeah, I forgot what night that was, but I know to get the last few points to get to 50, he was shooting like Steph Curry. I mean, he had it in him.
Man, so that's interesting, man. That's great. Good, shout out to him for scoring. We're gonna cover this as well. Cool. Starting from the top, Steph Curry fined 25K throwing mouthpiece.
Ha,
That's right. You heard it. You heard correctly. He threw
man,
his mouthpiece into the stand. Into
mhm,
the stands.
man. Steph Curry has an interesting relationship with his mouthpiece. I mean, he's always, chewing on it. There are multiple pictures and videos of him just, chewing on it at the free throw line is outside of his mouth. And, it's, he's thrown it a couple of times. This has not been the first time that he's thrown his mouthpiece. So I don't, hey, if mouthpieces help me get through my stresses in life, I'm throwing mouthpieces too. You know, uh,
So, I mean, so look, put this into context for me, right?
mhm.
$25,000.
Yeah.
Is that an appropriate fine? Do you think?
Absolutely not. Uh,
Okay.
especially for the average person that does not have
hmm
that money just laying around because I
hmm
threw a mouthpiece. So I mean, these fines are pretty incredulous. That's the word, I think.
hmm
Yeah, it's insane how much these guys get fined for throwing a mouthpiece or saying a curse word to the referee. It's interesting to say the least. The NBA has their way of getting their money back. Can't be
Man,
mad
it's
at it.
amazing. I have two thoughts on this one, right?
Yep.
The first thought is that mouthpiece is gonna go into the stands, and then somebody is gonna take that mouthpiece and sell it on eBay for $5,000.
Easy. Easy. Whatever the fine is, like it's actually probably gonna be worth 50,000. The mouthpiece that got the mouthpiece that was worth $25,000 clearly. It's going to double just because these people out here will buy a lot of things. They will buy someone's sock for 10 grand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean,
Do you think that and my last question on this one before you get to the other fine stories, do you
mm,
think that doing this stops them from behaving in the way that they're trying to stop them from? Because I mean, if the fine was less, would there be less? Would there be less of these situations where people are acting out? You think?
you know what? That is a really good question. um, I definitely think that it would probably happen a lot more, to be honest. If I could
Happen more
express,
around.
yeah, if I could express my emotions a little bit more often
Hmm.
without getting a fine, this egregious,
Hmm.
I would probably, show how I'm feeling a little bit more often, actually.
Hmm. That's
Hmm.
interesting, man. It just occurred to me because I was wondering. I was like, all right, this is a lot of money, but if it were less money, would there be more mouthpieces in the stands? would, would the game just be a little more edgy?
Yeah.
It's a thought exercise. But yeah, that was a good answer too. Cool. Anything else on this one before we head back to the other stories?
So crazy enough, in this game, Steph Curry, after he threw that mouthpiece, he actually got kicked out of the game.
Hmm.
And so Jordan Poole had to pick up the slack, and he showed out.
Hmm.
And Steph Curry is an important piece for the Warriors. So
Hmm.
for Jordan Poole to step in and actually get a game winning shot at the end, that's amazing. Steph Curry was waiting for him in the tunnel, like, hey, thank you, bro. Thank you for saving me, because he got himself kicked out of the game. That's debatable, whether a player should be kicked out of the game for showing how he feels, but that's the rules. So
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that was a way to pick up the slack,
mhm.
by Jordan Poole for sure.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
JP.
man. And moving on to the next story, and that was a good additional anecdote right there, in case people
Mhm.
didn't know that also happened. Moving on to the next story, got a couple of fine stories, So
Oh, another
Joel
25,000.
Embiid, not 25, something about 25,000 is a
That's
nice
what I was
solid number
thinking.
for the NBA. It seems to Joel Embiid fined 25,000 for making obscene gesture on playing court. Now we're not gonna. I don't know what obscene gesture he made, but we're not even gonna try to go find that. If you want to go look that up, you feel free. The internet's here. You can go do that. We're just gonna
Oh,
break down this article. Um, Now, Embiid's fine was for a celebratory gesture midway through the third quarter of Philadelphia's victory over Brooklyn on Wednesday night. Did you get to see the gesture that he made, Mayu? What's the what are
uh,
they talking about
I
here?
sure did, man. This gesture, for all my wrestling fans, is a common gesture that we've seen over the
Okay.
years.
What
Uh,
era of wrestling are we talking?
we're
Because I was an
talking.
early stage era of wrestling fan myself.
Oh, yeah, we're talking Stone
WCW, yeah.
Cold, yeah,
Stone Cold era.
WCW,
Okay.
WCW, WWE,
WWE, no doubt. Yep.
Stone
WWF.
Cold, yeah, Sting,
Hmm. Sting, yep.
um,
Rey Mysterio,
Rey Mysterio, Shawn Michaels, who was my
Shawn
favorite,
Michaels, yep.
Sweet Chin Music, best kick
No
in the
doubt. Yeah,
land.
he was pretty good.
Yeah,
Undertaker, right? Can't forget.
Undertaker, Hardy
Um,
Boys.
Hardy Boys, yep.
Hardy Boys flying off the ropes. Rey Mysterio, man, we going through the crates right now, man.
I know he said some racist stuff and whatnot, and he got kind of canceled recently. But Hogan. I can't forget, man.
Hey,
Before we
ye-
talk about when your heroes kind of ruin it for you.
mm,
But
mm,
before he came out as saying all that
mm.
controversial negative stuff, we're not going to even repeat. Shout out to him, Randy Savage, some of
Oh,
those dudes that
Randy
Randy
snapping
Macho
to
Man,
a
Randy Savage,
Slim Jim.
happen to a
Oh,
Slim Jim. You know,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah,
Uh,
man. So it
yeah.
was a wrestling kind of gesture, and
Rafiki.
Rafiki. I remember that dude. Um, I I don't. Do you think the gesture is controversial to make on the pod right now? What do you think?
Um, I mean,
Controversial.
I think in today's time it's so, we're very
Very sensitive
sensitive,
times. Sensitive
very
times.
sensitive
Very sensitive.
time. So
Yep.
that gesture that was okay back in the day and entertaining, it's
Hmm.
now an obscene gesture.
Okay.
Especially now that not we've always had kids and women in the stands, but it's just a different time where you have to be mindful of everything that you're doing, which is totally understandable. A little bit more
Hmm.
mindful than usual. So
100%. Well, hey man, 25,000 to Joel Embiid. Uh, you know,
man,
they ended up getting the victory, so
hey,
at least they got the win.
I'm thinking like, okay, did I do? Are they getting emails for everything you will be fined for? And if you do this, it's 25,000. Like I
Hmm.
wonder. I'm sure they get a memo or something. You know,
Yeah, there must be like a code of conduct somewhere that that
but
you have
20
to.
is that the minimum? Like, what's the minimum I can do, and what's the minimum amount I'll get fined?
Yeah.
That
Hey, NBA, if you're watching, let us know in the comments.
please
Well,
let us know.
yeah,
Someone let us know what's the minimum
let us
fine you
know.
can receive.
Yeah, inquiring minds would like to know because the way these 25Ks are being handed out, it's like candy right now. It's like a 2-for-1 special almost. I don't even understand.
I wish I
Anything else you
can.
want to add to this before we
No, that's it. That's it on that one, man. I don't want to talk about these guys getting fined anymore. It's hurting me.
turn you right? That's fair. Well, you know what? We got one more fine. It's gonna
Dang.
hurt one more time, man. Because that's we have to deliver the news because if the people don't know
uh,
how many fines are dropping and they're not keeping up with it, who else is
right.
gonna tell them? We have to do our service to the public, man. You
Well
know,
said. Well said.
you
Well
know.
said.
Yes, sir, man. So it hurts me too. It hurts me too because listen, another 20,
Another
another
25,000.
$25,000 fine.
Jeez.
You
What?
know,
Read the
so
fine print, guys. Read the fine print. If
yeah,
it's in.
man. I don't know. I mean, I don't care how much I get paid as an NBA player. I still don't want to part with
Mm,
$25,000, man. It's like this might be like a parking ticket to them. I
mm,
don't know what the scale is when you just
mm.
making that much money, but it's $25,000 just seems like a lot of money to just part with for a fine, like $5,000 seems like a fair. Now, granted, we just had the conversation about how the higher fine should incentivize better behavior, but three fines in less than a week. How do we explain this?
Um, well, we won't ever be able to explain this. They this is wild nature, as I call it. Um,
Wild nature, huh? Is that what the kids are saying these days?
you know, I made that one up. I'm really
Oh,
going to be
okay.
honest about that. I just made that up.
No doubt. This
Yeah,
is I think that's an accurate description of these fines. It's just
yeah,
this is a wild nature phenomenon.
yeah,
You know how the weather department is always naming like weather phenomena. Like remember the
yeah.
last snowstorm we had was a bomb cyclone, and then the other one was called a polar vortex.
Right.
So I think it's appropriate if the Weather Channel has a marketing department and they can
Mhm.
name stuff that we should get a chance to name these ludicrous events, right?
Man,
And
this is
in your case,
yeah.
this is a wild nature phenomenon. It's a wild nature situation.
That's why I enjoy doing this YouTube show with you, man. Because this is you understand. You understand me.
Oh, it's wild nature. All right, let's
Wow,
get to the
nature.
story. Let's get to this
Um,
fine, man, and get out of Fine City. The
I
NBA today
mean,
announced the Miami Heat has been fined $25,000 for failing to comply with league policies governing injury reporting. Okay, this is the plot thickens. All right. The following was released by the NBA. The NBA today announced Miami has been fined. We already talked about that. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's all we got. Now, listen, I'm going to call out NBA.com. Come on, guys. This is all you guys have.
we
What is this? A press release?
can't even really talk about this.
Like
Good,
I feel like we need to go to the Miami Heat now and get their side of the story
good
because the
man.
NBA just slung some mud. I mean, are they really not reporting injuries? What are they saying here?
Hey, anyone from the Miami Heat organization that would like to do a sit down with us, we just had some questions for you, respectfully. And
Respectfully.
uh, we want to be able to shine the light on, the truth and your side, most importantly. So yeah, sit down with the BBA, Better Ball Association.
Inquiring minds would like to know. We're just asking the hard questions that people are afraid to ask.
Hmm.
Why was the Miami Heat fined $25,000 to comply with league policies governing injury reporting? What does that even mean, guys? What does
um,
that mean? What does that mean? And why
that
not
can,
50,000?
man, that can mean anything, man. Man, let's get off of this, man. This is
Let's get
really
off of this.
hurting. This is hurting me. This is hurting me because the crazy part about it is, how you said that you would never want to part ways with 25K just like that.
Yeah.
They have no choice. They take it from them. Give me that.
That's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough, man. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, man.
That's tough, man. Hey,
Mm,
it has to be done in a better way.
yeah.
There has to be a way to do basketball better. That's all I have to say on that, brother.
Hey, man. I'm sure there's a better ball way of doing things.
Where there's a will, there's a ball. Wait. Anyway, where there's a way, there's a better. You know.
Hey, man. I understand you, man. That's all that matters. I could think about what you're trying to say later, man. I'm just with you.
Catch what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Without further ado, next story: the NBA refs. Okay, so all right,
Oh my
all right.
goodness
I'm gonna
gracious
introduce.
alive.
I'm gonna introduce this story because this story
Mm,
here, and if it hurts to have to relive the news, guys, we're just the messengers. Okay, we're just retelling the events as they happen. We're just curating the news for your experience, so you don't have to go looking to find out what happened in the NBA over the last weekend. Right? This is our service to you. Now, with that being said, this was a tough show because and we're gonna get to there's gonna be a great story we're gonna get to in the end of this triumphant story. But I saw personally what happened to LeBron at the end of that game. And in my opinion, he was done a disservice, right? Because upon looking at the replay, it was a clear and obvious foul. He got hit on the hand, right on the forearm, right? And completely changed the trajectory of the ball. Right now, would he have made that layup? I don't know, but one could argue there was a high likelihood that he would have made that layup. Okay, so uh, you know, in my honest opinion, that was a disservice, and that's all I'm going to start with this one, and I'll pass it over to you, Mayo.
man. Sheesh, how can I put it? This is really tough because um everybody in the stadium saw the same thing. That's the wildest thing is that everyone in the stadium saw that LeBron James got fouled. I mean, that is a usual play for him when the clock is running down. He's done that in the playoffs. Paul George, I believe, was um, at the Pacers. Don't quote me. It could be another team, but from what I kind of remember, it was Paul George. And as soon as he got the ball, pivoted, went left. They could not stop him. He laid it up. They won the game. Uh, this was the almost exact same play. Started off a little bit higher and, beyond the 3-point line when getting the ball, but same motion, right down the lane, and Tatum clearly fouled the what out of LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And Patrick Beverly actually got one of the cameras and went over to the referees and said, "Hey, see, you see the foul here?" And he got a technical foul actually for that. He's probably going to get fined. How much? $25K.
You remember in Austin Powers when Dr. Evil wanted his money, right? And they're like, Dr. Evil, how much money you want? And then Dr. Evil was like, remember now, Dr. Evil was frozen, right? So he didn't know how much money was a lot of money. So when they asked him that question, he said a small amount of money, right? And Dr. Evil was like, $5,000 or something. This is like, it's like the NBA, man. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's tough, man. It's a tough situation because it feels like they're doling out these slaps on the wrist a little bit, a little bit liberally. It's like, what's the decision-making process on this? Can I appeal it? What are my rights as an individual? Is you just dole out judgment and criticism upon me, because in this situation, how do we make right of this here? How do we make right of this?
LeBron has been getting fouled a lot throughout the years. Hey, LeBron's my guy. That's my guy right there. But he can kind of be dramatic sometimes, but he has to be. I get it. He kind of has to be to get the fouls, because if not, he's not going to get the foul call. And that play, Lakers really needed that win. Boston is a really good team. Formidable opponent by far. Jason Tatum, just a beast, just a real assassin. And Boston all around a good team. So for the Lakers to be able to keep up with them, and not only keep up with them, but tie the game up to the point where LeBron can finish the game. The refs, I feel, either need to get a fine, $25K.
25,000? Okay.
$25K.
$25,000.
25K.
21.
You owe me 25K.
25.
25.
Oh man, that's a great idea. That would be that. I think that's reasonable. In a world where the refs have so much on the line and they just frivolously get to make a decision, and there's no way for you to overturn it. You know how many losses happened that night? Because that call. How many people lost that night because of a blatant unfair call?
I think it has man. I think actually another option for them would actually be to review they can't review all the calls to see if it's a foul, because when do you review it? So I think that they should give each team more challenges, more times to challenge the play. Like, hey, we want to challenge. We throw out our challenge for you to review the play and see if that was a foul. And I think that would help everyone out. The refs won't get fined 25K, and the players won't
As
get
they
fined.
should. Hey
I
man,
mean,
hey, look, because look, check this out. I didn't mean to cut you, right? And I just want us to make this point.
mhm,
NBA referees said Sunday that the no call on a LeBron James layup attempt in the final seconds of regulation during the Lakers' overtime loss to the Celtics on Saturday was a gut-wrenching mistake,
mm,
right? So all he get the only consequence that he gets besides some, being dragged through the court of public opinion is
mm,
that he has to apologize.
right.
Or he didn't even have to apologize. He just apologized, right? And then that's all he has to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. LeBron looked defeated, man. He looked defeated once again. Uh,
Look at that. They got us. We got to get off of this article here. Okay. Back
oh
to our
man, they're
Google
trying to
Doc, ladies
get
and
you.
gentlemen. Boom.
They're trying to get your
They don't want us
cookies.
on that article. They want us to subscribe to their service, and we don't want to do that.
Right.
Nonetheless, you were saying.
Yeah, man. I was like LeBron was devastated and totally understandable. Very handle it like like a professional when they asked him about the game. So
Yeah, you talking about that locker room interview, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was man, that was tough to watch, right? I actually watched that one, and yeah, I actually felt bad for the guy. I felt really bad for him, because you could see how defeated, right? Like, to use your word, you could see how defeated he was. And you could also see how he just wanted to be left alone so he could process that. But being the professional that he is, he sat through that interview, and I mean, gave the reporter a full interview from what I saw.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's very polite, very cordial, ever the professional. So shout out to LeBron, man. We're gonna go to this next story since we're on LeBron, and you could keep talking, and I'll just pull this one up.
Yeah, man. I got nothing more to say on that. Again, gut wrenching. You don't want to keep talking about something that they can't change. So
Yeah, but you did give some good ideas, right? Maybe we should revisit the regulation
mm,
around challenges, like you said.
right,
That's
right.
a good idea. Um, or they should even be some way you can overturn blatantly bad calls like that at the end of a game. I guess that's a challenge,
Um,
right? That's what you would consider a
yeah,
challenge.
they would have to
Yeah.
kind
So
of go with the NFL, see what they got going on and how they handle their challenge system.
yeah,
And
because this is not going to be the last time. Whether it's on a call from the ref or something that wasn't called, it's not going to be the last time that they're going to have something questionable happen in like the last 10 seconds, 30 seconds of a game.
yeah, not at all. Like that's something that can't even happen in the playoffs. So
Yeah. You think they'll be able to figure that out between now and then, or that's something that's like a next year maybe?
um yeah, that's next year.
Next year. Hold on.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. Last LeBron story for the night. And I'll start this one off. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are out on Monday, as in today,
uh
Monday the 30th,
uh
versus the Nets.
uh
Obviously, James is on his way to passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the all-time scoring lead,
Real
and
close.
he's currently dealing with left ankle soreness. Now,
Mm.
I don't know why Anthony Davis is out.
Again.
Um, okay, so look, let's see. Here it is. Here's the report. This is the official Lakers report. So we have Anthony Davis with right foot stress injury, and then we have
Hmm.
LeBron James with left ankle soreness. So Scottie Pippen Jr. Oh, okay. I don't know. He's in the Lakers status report for some reason.
Go
Um,
Larsa.
uh, yeah, this dude is funny. What do you think about this this situation? What do you think
Man,
about this?
let's see. Where do I start with this one? Anthony Davis again, bro. You just came back from a 20 game streak of being out, being in street clothes, man, and you come back for one game and you couldn't even make it through. My guy, this is tough, man. It's tough for me to see, man. Real chat. It's tough for me to see. Um,
Real rap, real rap, real chat.
yeah, man. It's tough, man. It just such a great talent, but we don't want to sound like the usual. Such a great talent, man. He has so much potential, whatever. Yeah, all that, but just for the guy, man, I feel bad for him. So, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. I know he just came back, right? Like you said,
hmm
he just came back. So my
yeah,
my question, right? What I'm curious about,
hmm
not to cast blame. I'm curious about this. As a professional athlete at the highest level, someone like
hmm
Anthony Davis, right?
yeah,
He has a team around him,
hmm
presumably, right?
hmm
He has a nutritionist, a physical therapist, some kind of orthopedic doctor or something, right?
hmm
Um, so I'm trying to understand, is it are we missing somebody from the team
hmm
around him?
hmm
And if we're not missing somebody from the team, does he have the right team? And are they doing everything they can to protect this man? And that's my first question, right?
hmm
And then the second part of the question is, if yes to both of those things, he has a team, they're doing everything they can, then what else can he do to avoid injuries like this?
Um, well, to answer your first question, I think the team is doing excuse me, team R is man. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. The team doing everything they need to be doing to try to make sure this man can play healthy.
Okay.
So, but in a sense, I mean, I'm just gonna say it, but it's tough out here for long-footed NBA players in the league.
Yeah, he's about 7 foot something, right?
Yeah, and when they have the long, narrow feet, it's hard to kind of play basketball with that. I'm sure it's great for swimming and scuba diving, but in NBA,
Yeah.
it's pretty difficult. Kevin Durant, you had Anthony Davis, you know, uh, I don't know, Greg Oden back in the day had long foot problems. Um, I think he had knee problems, but I don't know, man. But a lot of these long-footed individuals in the NBA that play in the post that are tall, you know,
Hmm.
that's a common injury. That's a common injury, actually.
Yeah,
hmm
man, that's something else, man.
Yeah.
That's a great analysis. I just learned something. So the taller you are, and kind of maybe it could have an effect on how your feet handle the repeated stress of
hmm
the game and the demands, man. Well, listen, I wish Anthony Davis a speedy recovery, man. That's tough. It's tough. I'm sure he wants to play more than he's been playing, so
Yeah.
wish him speedy recovery as well as LeBron too.
Man, LeBron, he's still hurt from what the referees did to him the last game. So
You think that's showing up in his foot? You think that's manifesting
yeah,
in his ankle,
man.
huh? That's
Something is
fair.
hurting in my ankle, man.
Yeah,
Uh
man. That call might have just manifested in his ankle soreness. That's an interesting take. I respect that, bro.
hey, I'm not gonna get fined here 25K. So I'm gonna say, It's the ref's fault why
Uh,
LeBron James ain't playing tonight.
you heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. That's a mic dropping moment. Anything else you want to add to this story?
Nah, man, I want to keep our show going, man. I don't want to say too much.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So the last story of the night, we're gonna end on a positive, triumphant story.
Thank Jesus.
I know, man.
It was tough, man. All these fines and the injuries and
Yeah, this show
heartbreak.
was harder than I thought it would be, right? I thought this
Man.
as we were getting these stories together, this is not how I imagined they would go, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you for
Mm-mm.
bearing with us. We are simply messengers of the news. We are doing our service to humanity here. We're bringing news to you so you don't have to go looking for it yourself. And we saved probably the best story of today for last, and that is Giannis. Okay.
Gee. Yo, I love the fact that you say Giannis. I mean, it's actually not my responsibility to correct you. But
Uh,
I call him Yannis. Tomato,
Giannis, okay.
tomato, Giannis,
Tomato,
Giannis.
tomato. Tomato, tomato over here.
Hey,
Call it.
Giannis, Giannis, come correct this dude, man. If you
Nah, hey, I don't want no
come
smoke.
correct him. No,
I was,
politely, and in the Giannis way, he seems like a very polite guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to start saying his name right, man, because we don't know who's watching our show. So is Giannis how you say it?
I believe so, man. That's what the people
Giannis, all right,
say.
no
You
doubt.
know,
So Giannis, I'm gonna retire Giannis. There's a Giannis somewhere out there. That is not you, sir. You are Giannis. Right. So tonight's show, Giannis Antetokounmpo
yes, good
scores
one.
50 points.
Hunter.
Okay, he scored 50 points, Mayu.
50
Let's talk about that, man.
Hunter.
Let's talk about it.
50 points, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't see the highlights of the game.
I have
But
him right here. Let's see.
hey, let's check it
Fair
out.
use, ladies and gentlemen. Fair use. Let's skip these guys because I respect their commentary, but this is our show. All right, we're not here for their commentary.
Yeah. My
Let's go to some
guy.
of these highlights, man.
Team
Let's go to some of these
BBA.
highlights. BBA all day.
BBA
So
all day.
can you see this? We're not gonna play the volume because the volume doesn't matter. We're just gonna
Doesn't
show some
matter.
of these plays. Let me know if you can see it. Okay, boom. We're gonna pop this out. Fair use, ladies and gentlemen. We reserve our fair use privileges. Can you see that? Are you watching this? Did you see that?
No, sir.
Okay. You didn't see it at all?
No, sir, Bobby.
Oh, okay. Let me try it right here. Do you see it now?
No, I think they have some special mechanism on there where you can't watch it.
So
You
as
can't
I'm playing it,
record it.
as I'm playing it, you're not seeing it. Okay, cool. But we learn something new every day. The point is that man was hooping. That's the point. This man was hooping.
He was
All right.
hooping.
Let's see
What
if we
I
can find it.
did see, the last few points to get 50, he was shooting from Steph Curryville.
Is
No
that so?
lies told.
That's
Let's see what
amazing.
they're gonna do. Like he made it look nice, man. He's like, give me the rock, give me the ball. Watch what I do with it. Let it fall.
Oh, bars.
Yeah, bars, man.
Mixtape coming soon.
Man, get with it.
All right, let's see. We found an article here about it. Okay, so the Milwaukee Ball. This article is brought to you by ESPN. Um, okay, so they're breaking down. Yes, 50 points, 13 rebounds on 20 of 26 shooting in just 30 minutes. Okay, they're breaking down his scoring here. It was his fifth 50-point regular season game and his second this month.
Whoa.
Nice. This is the first time he's had multiple 50-point games in the same season, according to this article.
Gee, by golly.
Started off the first quarter with 18 points, 29 points by halftime.
Oh,
This is impressive. It's pretty impressive stuff.
some people don't even score 29 points in a game.
Pretty impressive stuff here. It says he entered the fourth quarter with 35 points and was sitting at 44 points before knocking down back-to-back three-pointers late in the fourth quarter to hit 50, like you said.
Yes,
What
sir.
are your thoughts on Giannis? What are your thoughts on Giannis as a player?
Man.
Obviously, he's one of those guys right now. You know,
Man, Yannis, aka Greek Freak, is a beast, man.
can you see this? Fair
He's
use, ladies and gentlemen. Fair use. Can you see that?
oh, you got a little something, something. Let's see. Let's
Fair
see.
use.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, these are just some highlights. We're gonna stop it right here. Yeah, it's just some highlights. You know, looks pretty effortless. Would
Effortless.
you say he broke a sweat during that game? Or
It
did he
didn't
make it look easy?
like
Listen,
it, man. He came out ready to ball. Ready to ball. You like how I put that in there? A little,
ready to ball, man.
a little plug for Ready to Ball podcast coming soon to a podcast
To a
system
network near
near
you.
you. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
thank you, sir. Thank you for helping me, man.
yeah,
Because
man.
I was falling, man. I didn't know what else
It's
to
all
say.
and it's all good. That it's time to wrap up the show. That's all that means, man.
Right.
We just gave people a great show.
Mm-hmm.
We walked them through the wild nature phenomenon of
Right.
everybody being fine.
Mm-hmm.
We let them know about the struggles of the Lakers, and then we ended with a triumphant story about Giannis. I learned how to say his name
Giannis.
correctly. More
Yes.
importantly, he scored 50 points recently and
50,
made it look effortless.
50 pointer, man. 50 pointer, just playing with the boys, man. Just playing.
Yeah, so these are just a few things and more that have occurred in the last few days, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining the show. What last words do you have to say for the people, Mayu? I know it's been a lengthy show today. We had a lot to cover coming out from the weekend. It's a Monday show. But what last words do you have for the people before we end the show?
Ladies and gents, I'm always going to say thank you, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch us and get caught up on NBA news. We appreciate you guys. Again, basketball tournament coming soon to a gym near you. We will be in the Forest Park every year. February 19th, 5-on-5 tournament. Hey guys, Better Ball Association.net. It's late, guys. All this mumbo jumbo. Man, I'm not even going to keep going and drying it out, man, because this was a good episode, man. So
Yeah.
thank you. Again, Better Ball Association.net. Check us out, sign up, stay tuned, and holla at me.
And that's a wrap. We'll be back again tomorrow night with a new show and new news for y'all. Have a good one.